Hi guys, I'm Handyman Graham and welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm flipping a dresser I found on the sidewalk. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and also the like button. I'm not quite sure what the like button does, but we're so close to reaching 100,000 subscribers and it'd be so cool to get one of those silver plaques and we can just pop it up on the corkboard behind us. So please tell your friends and your parents and your grandma, spread the word. Go over to your grandma's house, go on her TV, press that subscribe button. She doesn't even need to watch the videos. She can just subscribe, it's all good.
So crazy, it just might work.
This week, I'm working on a project for Natasha and Tex's bedroom makeover. Alexandra has tasked me with sourcing a dresser, flipping it, and painting fancy stripes on it. So let's get started. Good morning, guys. So Alexandra's tasked me with trying to find a dresser for Natasha's apartment makeover. And I think I just found something on the sidewalk. I didn't have my car with me. I was actually out for a run. So now that I'm back in the workshop, I have my car. I'm gonna go see if it's still there and potentially see if it's an appropriate fit for Natasha's apartment. Usually I don't have the camera with me and I just have to go pick it up and then come back and then show you the end result. But we actually get to go like hunt this dresser down together. Sure enough, the dresser's still here, but it is quite soggy. I'm inspecting it to see if there's any like damage from the rain, if like the wood is swelling, and it's looking okay. It's just now that mattress is now soggy and it's even more revolting than before. So I'm just trying my best to like not touch the mattress as I'm inspecting this dresser. The measurements are good. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna load it into the truck and take it back to the workshop. So there's a bit of an issue. There's 9 drawers total, but I only counted 7, so we're missing 2 drawers. I felt bad leaving it there because it is like a really nice dresser, and I'm thinking I could potentially make 2 drawers to match the missing ones. Okay, so we got the dresser back into the workshop. It looks a little bit rough. There's some random like goop as well as some damage along the top. So I think the first thing we gotta do, we're gonna clean it up, sand it down, we're gonna paint it, and then we're gonna make 2 new dresser drawers to fit in the bottom here. They're the same dimensions as this drawer. Like this drawer is it's the same size and everything, so I'm just gonna kind of like reverse engineer this drawer. So this dresser's been out in the rainstorm overnight, but it also seems like there's been like decades of grime and dust and dirt that have built up over time. So first thing that we have to do is Nolan and I are gonna start cleaning it. I think we're gonna go in with some TSP cleaner, improves paint adhesion, removes grease and oil from garage floors and driveways, convenient spray for spot cleaning walls. So yeah, this sounds like it's like a little bit stronger than like a dish soap and water solution that I tend to use. There's definitely signs of like dirt and grime and all sorts of stuff. I'm not quite sure the state of the house in which it came from. So what we're gonna do, just for like peace of mind, we're gonna go in with methyl hydrate. This is just a substitute for like isopropyl or rubbing alcohol. We're just gonna spray the entire inside of the cabinet and wipe it all down. That's just gonna kill any, I hate to say it, like bugs or bug larvae or eggs or whatever. I haven't seen any evidence of bugs, but we're just gonna go ahead and just clean the entire inside with this stuff, and this will just give us peace of mind that we're not gonna be putting like a bug-infested dresser in Natasha's home. I had bed bugs one time, and it's freaking terrible. I'm not saying there's bed bugs in here. I'm just saying we wanna avoid any issues like that. So methyl hydrate is gonna be your friend here. As I'm tackling these drawers, I'm gonna be removing the hardware, and I'm gonna be fixing up any damage as I go. And I'm noticing that like the drawer slide are like just stapled on, so I'm just removing the staples. I'm putting in some screws just to make it extra secure. Okay, so Nolan and I just got started on cleaning the dresser, and we started with a scrub brush, and then we noticed that it was taking too long. So then I upgraded to this like power drill brush attachment from Ryobi. It's not at all sponsored, by the way, but these things are freaking great. It's just like a power scrubber. I think I picked these up for like 10 bucks at Home Depot. This is like a super good little hack for speed cleaning, like cars or boats or sidewalk dressers or whatever.
Nolan's scuff sanding the entire dresser down. We're just removing that glossy finish, and this just allows like the primer to like have something to like grip and hold on to. If you're gonna be painting a dresser, I highly recommend just giving it like a gentle sand before priming. Also notice that some of the dresser drawers are cracked and splitting, so I'm just adding a little bit of wood glue and clamping them together just to fix them up a little bit. So Nolan is priming the entire dresser with shellac primer, and the reason why we're using shellac primer over water-based or oil-based is because shellac primer truly sticks to everything. So even though we've already cleaned it, we've sanded it, if there's any sort of grime or oil or debris or dust or anything left behind, the shellac primer will just stick to everything and just give us like the perfect surface to paint on. So this dresser already had like really old knobs and pulls on them, but because we're changing like the whole character of this dresser, we're gonna be putting on new knobs. And so I have to fill in the holes in the dresser drawer fronts. I'm just adding a little bit of wood glue, some wood dowel, I'm just hammering them into place. And I'm just cutting off the excess dowel with a flush cut handsaw.
Okay, so we have the dresser primed. We have some drawers primed. And then we have these ones that are just drying now. So that just needs to dry. It's getting clamped just because the wood was kind of split there. Yeah, we're just gonna let those dry and we're gonna move on to making the 2 additional drawers that we're gonna make from scratch. We have this old piece of plywood here. It's pretty nice actually. We're gonna repurpose this piece of wood, make some new drawers out of it rather than like spend money on new material.
So the first thing I have to do is cut out some strips of plywood using my table saw.
I'm gonna cut the bottom of the drawer boxes on the table saw as well. I don't know if you guys remember this piece, but this is the piece of wood that was on the side of my fridge. So again, this upcycling materials makes me happy. I don't have to buy anything. It's like a nice like veneered piece of MDF, so it's like gonna be strong and it'll look good. Something weird's happening. I think there might be something going on with the... It's so weird, like all the lights are out in the hall. Okay, it's day 2. We had a bit of a power outage last night, so we weren't able to finish building the drawer boxes, but I'm gonna get going on that while Nolan starts painting the dresser in Pharaoh and Ball bone.
It's a really nice bone color, like a yellowish, like taupe. I'm going in with like 3 coats of bone because I'm gonna be putting tape on top of this coat, and we want this paint to be nice and consistent. While the drawer boxes are made out of like solid hardwood, I don't have that much hardwood on me. So even though these boxes are gonna be made out of plywood, they're gonna be strong and I'll make them look as nice as I can. So I'm just adding some box joints using my table saw into each corner so that when I glue and clamp everything together, the box will stay completely square.
Okay, I messed up. I cut these drawer bottoms at the wrong size. I should have double checked my measurements, so unfortunately I can't use this beautiful veneered MDF, which really sucks. So instead I just quickly cut some 1/8 inch MDF to size with the correct measurements. And it's okay. I mean, this obviously doesn't look as good, but this is gonna be the bottom of the drawer with clothing on top. This will never see the light of day. I made a mistake, but right now, I just have to keep going with these drawers. So now I can glue everything together. So things are progressing, but slowly. Thumper! Hi there! Hi, come here! Thumper!
I'm just using some brad nails and some ratchet straps to hold the box together until the wood glue dries.
Okay, the boxes are done. One box is half an inch wider than the other box, and I don't know why. Both boxes are supposed to be the same. I cut all the pieces the same. I don't know what I did, but what I'm gonna do now, while that glue dries, is I'm gonna get going on the drawer fronts. So this is the drawer front that I'm gonna be copying. And I've got a bunch of scrap wood here. Probably have enough here to do the 2 drawer fronts, but I'm gonna do the drawer fronts kind of like the same way I did the boxes. Obviously, I'm gonna put some finish on here, maybe oil it up a little bit just to make it look nice, sand it down one more time. Just getting it done here.
The drawer fronts are where the real challenge starts. I don't want anyone to know that any of these drawers were made from scratch. I'm cutting out strips of hardwood. I'm using my biscuit joiner to join them all together. And then for like the decorative edges, I'm just using my router, just trying to make it look as uniform as possible.
Okay, so I got one drawer front done. I probably should have done them at the same time. I had to make sure that this one worked properly. I could actually make it. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the ass. Like I had to like cut a piece 2 times and I don't know. I actually don't have the patience to even describe it. But yeah, I'm just gonna get started on the second drawer front. And then when we come in tomorrow morning, we should be able to assemble everything, prime and paint the final 2 drawers and then paint the dresser. I'm just gonna get started on that second drawer front and then I'm out of here. Hey guys, it's the next morning. The drawer fronts are all dry. I just sanded these down real quick and they're starting to look very nice. Very similar to the OG drawer fronts. So we got this and we got this. The next thing I have to do here, I gotta cut this decorative edge here, and I don't have a router bit that matches this profile. So instead, I'm gonna take these drawer fronts over to the table saw, angle the blade a little bit, and try to accomplish like the same look, but just with my table saw.
So I'm sanding everything down with 120 grit sandpaper. I don't need to go beyond that because we're gonna be painting this dresser drawer, and you want it to be like a little rough so that the paint has something to stick to, just like scuff sanding.
It's so fun. It's like an exact replica. I can't really describe like how awesome it feels to like replicate something like this. And like we recreated these drawer fronts from scrap wood. The reason why I used hardwood is because I wanted there to be this wood grain that's left behind. It's gonna show through the paint, and that's what I want. I want it to be as similar as possible to the original drawer fronts. I'm just gonna let this primer dry, and I'm probably gonna move over to putting the painter's tape on the dresser now. So come over here. This is probably gonna be the most challenging part of the whole thrift flip. This needs to be perfectly done. We can't have any bleeding under the tape. And there's just a lot of grooves that we have to kind of shove the tape into. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the width of the tape itself to space these lines apart. And I'm also gonna be double checking my work with this drywall square. But anyways, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna line up the lines on this face all the way down, and then I can do this face, and then I can do this face. And I'm gonna do it with separate pieces of tape, and I can remove, and I can remove, and then we have our perfectly spaced lines. So that's the plan. Okay, so I've been doing this for like maybe 2.5 hours. I haven't gotten that far, but I have found a really great method for doing this that I thought I'd share. And they've got these little sticks. It's just like nice, soft, rounded edges, but it allows me to really push the tape into the grooves and crevices because there's a lot of them. That's the most challenging part about this right now, is that just trying to make sure the tape is flat and like really tucked in on each little groove Obviously it's not gonna be perfect, and I'm gonna have to go in with my finger after and just squish everything before painting, but these little sticks are really, really useful.
So of course you can paint a striped dresser like freehand. You could probably like draw some pencil lines and little art brush and, you know, paint some lines on the dresser, and you could probably get some good results that way. But the way to get the best results is to use painter's tape. As I'm doing this, I'm making sure that the edges of the tape are completely pressed down, running my hand over the tape. If there's any point of the tape where like the edge is lifting off at all, it's not perfectly stuck down onto the dresser, paint is gonna be able to like get underneath that tape, and we don't want that. We wanna make sure that the tape is just nice and smooth, pressed down, and no edges are lifting up. I'm putting the drawer box inside the dresser and then just trying to like align it the best I can, making note of like how much space needs to be on either side. And then I'm removing everything and securing the drawer front to the drawer box using some screws from the inside.
This is it. This is the last drawer. Wow. Just the taping took 7 hours. But yeah, it looks really, really great. Now we're just going in with the same color of paint that we use as our base coat. What this is gonna do is it's gonna seal the edges of the paint so that when we do go in with the habanero chili paint color, I forget what it's called, but it's like that bright red paint. Hopefully the same color of paint will seal all the little edges where the paint can get underneath.
I can guarantee you that you won't have any issues if you paint the same base coat color over top of the painter's tape before adding your second color. This double paint over top of painter's tape technique is gonna give us the nicest, smoothest, crispest line possible. What I'm most concerned with is like the inside edges where I had to kind of push the tape in with a stick. So the paint is just gonna seal those areas off so that when I go to remove the tape, it's just nice, crisp line every time.
Okay, so I've done about 3 coats of paint on this dresser and the dresser drawers. Look, boom, boom. So all the stripes are gone, you see? So I painted over the painter's tape, and I've learned a couple things I want to share with you. The mistake number 1 was taping and not painting yesterday. This tape is meant to be removed when the paint is still semi-wet. So I was concerned that if I were to do the bone color before the habanero color, like the day before, that the paint would dry, the tape would dry, and then it would peel up some of that paint with it when I removed it. So tip 1 is I should have painted the same day that I taped, but it would have been one hell of a long day. This is the tape that I'm using right now. Frog tape keeps paint out, keeps lines sharp. The only tape with paint block technology. Seals tape edges. I think to finish this project, I'm probably gonna be using the paint sprayer with the habanero paint, and I'm gonna just spray it dead on and nice light coat passes and stuff, and I think I'm gonna have some success there. But I have to let this paint dry for a bit. I'll probably come back at the end of the day and do a couple spray paint passes, but for now, I'm going to move on to another project. So I'll see you at the end of the day.
So for the second color, I'm going in with habanero chili and a semi-gloss finish, and this is Benjamin Moore's Advanced line. This is a very high durability paint that's often used for like kitchen cabinets, doors, trim, you name it. I'm using my paint sprayer, and you can control how heavy and how light you go in with the paint sprayer rather than a roller, which goes in really, really heavy, which will prevent that habanero chili from seeping under the painter's tape in areas where I didn't stick it down 100%. I wanna make sure that this paint is going on as thin as possible, multiple coats, so I can build it up over time. I want this to look as perfect as possible. So I'm gonna be doing multiple light passes, which will prevent any paint from running or from seeping under the painter's tape, and it's just gonna give like a very nice, like factory painted finish. So now it's time to remove the painter's tape. And my tip for you guys is to remove the painter's tape while the paint is still tacky. Not wet, not dry, but kind of like in between. While this paint is not latex paint, if you guys have tapes with latex paint, you'll notice that if you peel off the paint while the paint's dry, it's gonna tug at that latex paint and it's gonna peel it off the wall in places where you don't want it to. So if the paint is still kind of tacky, it can like peel away without pulling the paint off with it.
If you notice, I'm pulling the tape off in a unique way, I guess you could say. I'm not lifting the painter's tape up vertically. I'm pulling it horizontally to the surface, like perpendicular almost. I'll show you what I mean. So rather than pulling up and out like that, I'm pulling it to the side. If I pull it straight this way, then I'm pulling that paint off that surface, and we don't want that at all. Because the paint hasn't had a chance to cure yet as well, it's very soft and it can peel. I'm pulling it off to the side, and that just allows that tape just to roll right off. So here I can tell I went a little bit too heavy with the base coat paint, and it kind of just ran underneath the tape there, which is okay. I can go in with a little paintbrush and touch that up after. For the most part, this is way better than what I was expecting it to be like, especially when all these little nooks and crannies here. I'll just go in with a little paintbrush and just do a little dab wherever the paint has leaked, and you won't know the difference. But it seems like there's a lot less touch-up work that I'll have to do than what I was expecting. This is perfect. Very happy with how this is turning out. Paint itself is not that durable. So just for extra security, I'm gonna be going in with 2 coats of satin lacquer. And this is gonna make like a nice hard clear coat finish. Even though I spent like 4 days prepping and painting this thing, I don't have to worry about something scratching it in an instant. I was trying to figure out how to recreate these brackets that go on the underside of these dresser drawers. Because we're missing 2 drawers, I have to kind of figure out how to replicate this. So I picked up some sheet metal from Home Depot. I cut out a little strip using my cut-off saw. This piece of wood is the same size as the inside of this track. I'm gonna use this wood as my template. I'm gonna trace it, and then I'm just gonna hammer it, brute force. Okay, this is the factory one. And this is the homemade one. Nice.
So now it's time to bring it into Natasha and Tex's bedroom. I'm gonna leave the knobs for Alexandra to do. I know it gives her satisfaction to install the knobs herself, so we're gonna leave that for her to do. And I think it's the perfect time to step away and just appreciate the project. Okay, so now it's your favorite part of the video where I talk about what I learned, what I could do differently. The first being the lacquer. It's very stinky.
Stinky!
It's not all that environmentally friendly. It's got high VOCs. Water-based clear finishes have progressed so much in the past couple years that they're pretty much like the same quality as like the really stinky toxic stuff. I'm looking forward to using those in future products. Just being a little bit more conscious about like the effect that some of these paints and some of these finishes have like on the environment. This is something I've learned the hard way, but not during this project. And this is just a tip for you guys, is that if you ever find like a piece of furniture on the side of the road, inspect the piece thoroughly before taking it home. Make sure that there's no signs of bug infestations. Make sure it hasn't been sprayed by a skunk or peed on by a dog or something. Just be careful out there when you find sidewalk finds. That's my tip for you. My overall thoughts for how the project turned out, I'm just so thrilled with how it turned out. This is one of those projects where I was showing all my friends on my phone. It's nice that we like gave this dresser a second life that's probably gonna last as long as its first one. The painting, while it did take a long time, it turned out so well. Those lines are so crisp. I think the hard work definitely paid off. Just so thrilled that it's going to a good home. And I know that Natasha will just love this dresser. For the next video, I'm gonna be doing a Q&A, asking you guys all your DIY questions or whatever questions you guys wanna ask me. Maybe even giving you guys some demos on how to use tools, but also answering any sort of questions you have about like how I got started, how I met Alexandra, all sorts of stuff. So make sure to subscribe and see if I answer your question. Thanks again for joining me on this dresser flip video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.